The South Today bulletin, proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Tonight on the South Today, the Royal Commission of Inquiry makes its way to Queenstown, researching how they responded to the pandemic. A newly renovated Dunedin tourist centre reopens its doors to incoming visitors just in time for the summer season. And Alexandra conservationists open a new private sanctuary, hoping to protect some rare water creatures. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Simon Henderson. With COVID-19 cases back on the rise, a government agency is travelling the country in an effort to be better prepared for a health crisis. The Royal Commission of Inquiry is making its way to Queenstown to see how the tourism centre responded to the lockdowns and how it can be done better.
Working to become one step ahead of the next pandemic, the Royal Commission of Inquiry is visiting Queenstown this month to reflect on New Zealand's COVID-19 response. Commissioners Tom Blakely, Hekia Parata and John Whitehead were appointed last December to look at lessons learnt, including during the nationwide lockdown in 2020. Whitehead has been listening to the experiences of Queenstown businesses during the pandemic, using that feedback to compare the migrant worker dependent town to the rest of the country.
People are coming up with lots of very sensible approaches and learnings that they've gathered through the process. Both from things that went really well and things that didn't go well. Yeah.
The Commission's looking to better prepare Aotearoa's business and health sectors for what they believe is the next inevitable public health crisis.
Yeah, the viruses keep mutating and there's other forms of pathogens and, you never know one of these days, people use these kind of things as weapons.
And while individual discussions with businesses are confidential, the collective information will be used to improve the country's approach in a future health crisis, including the unique issues of tourist hotspots like central Otago. In Queenstown, the South Today.
A petition calling for the Gore District Council interim CEO to resign has been thrown out after a long-winded drama spanning across the year. The petition was put forward when the council offered Steve Parry an interim chief executive role after his departure following allegations of bullying. It was set to be presented to the council on Tuesday until Councillor Glenys Dixon moved that petition organiser Hayden McIntyre not be permitted to speak at the meeting. She outlined it was due to Parry's appointment being an employment matter. Councillor Robert Mackenzie and Mayor Ben Bell questioned why the petition couldn't be spoken to, but the majority of councillors voted to reject the petition. The petition gained more than 300 signatures, of which 18 were from outside of Gore and counted as invalid. McIntyre says he wasn't surprised at what occurred during the meeting and isn't convinced Parry will actually leave his interim position. A Dunedin Visitor Information Centre is unveiling a fresh new look for incoming tourists just in time for the busy summer season. It's one of the first in the country to debut the new look following a national brand refresh of the network.
Dunedin visitors taking in the new upgrades at the newly refurbished iSite Visitor Centre. The information centre reopened its doors to the public on Tuesday, in time for cruise passengers and tourists flocking the city during the summer season. iSite manager Louise van der Vleerd is happy with the brand new look, hoping the layout will help educate tourists about the Dunedin experience.
It's the first in the country to open with the national look, but the local theming to it, so it's just so exciting. It's quite different for us.
The iSite network received just under $3 million of government funding to develop its rebrand, which was spread across 14 different locations. Dunedin staff were excited to see some travellers make their way to the information centre so they could walk them through the new setup of display panels.
Just more space for them to move around so that if they come in wanting information about one thing or another, it's actually separated out.
Van der Vleerd hopes the renovations will not only enhance the city's tourism sector, but also influence visitors to stay a little longer. In Dunedin, the South Today.
The Highlanders will be entering next year's Super Rugby season with a bit of sparkle after revealing a new look that's inspired by the Stars. The Southern Rugby Union team unveiled their new 2024 jerseys on Wednesday, which draws inspiration from the Southern Lights Aurora Australis. The sparkling training kit features a classic Highlanders blue blended into a galaxiid mauve, something the franchise says captures the vibrant spirit of the team. However, the playing kit is staying largely the same, retaining a dark blue base with the alternate strip staying heavy on Southland maroon with some North Otago gold. A new feature is the grip strip across the front, which displays imagery from the Highlander himself. The shirts are the first from the Highlanders' new apparel partner Classic and will be available to buy in-store next month. A rare endangered species of fish may now have a saving grace as a pair of farmers look to protect their waterways. Aotearoa's first private Galaxiid Sanctuary has opened up in central Otago with the aim of helping conserve the tiny water creatures.
Conservationists, young and old, proving the rain won't dampen their mood. Around 50 people attended the opening of the Speck Creek Galaxiid Sanctuary in Kyburn on Friday, which is the first of its kind in the country. The stream runs through the properties of local farmers Phil Smith and Hamish McKenzie, who believe they need to look after the small endangered fish.
We just really wanted this to be an educational centre and highlight the risk we have of losing these precious wee galaxiid fish. They're very endangered, they're in a very small area in New Zealand.
Smith and Mackenzie have fenced off Speck Creek from stock to protect the galaxiid populations, with the help from local project group Te Aki Maniatoto. They have also created a car park, information panels and a walking track around the sanctuary in an effort to get the community more involved in the local ecology.
It's part of this region's natural history that the region really needs to be proud of and celebrate and work to protect. And so that's why this place is important, because it's a place that people can come to learn more about these fish.
Pupils from St John's School were brought along to the unveiling to learn more about the galaxiid and freshwater ecosystems. Te Aki Maniatoto Communications Officer Bill Morris hopes the children will keep what they learned about water conservation in mind when running their own farms in the future. In Kyburn, the South Today.
E whai ake nei. Still to come on the South Today, a crash cuts short a local rally driver's season and a brass band says goodbye to its historic home.
Black Friday flash sale! It's a total price blackout at My Mate John's. For a limited time, he's taken a whopping 30% off everything. 30% off Dunedin's biggest range of beds. 30% off Dunedin's lowest price furniture. 30% off everything store-wide. Plus, pay it off over 30 months interest-free. Black Friday flash sale!
Where did you get that furniture from? Stafford Street and My Mate John.
A poorly maintained heat pump can lose up to 35% of its output. The Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner team are experts. Their specially developed chemical wash is totally biodegradable. Call Mr. Heat Pump Cleaner and get the job done by the professionals.
Such a sweet girl. What are you dreaming about?
Just music.
The power of dreams by Honda.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
Welcome back. An experienced Dunedin rally car driver is on the mend after her season was cut short earlier in the year. Emma Gilmore says she's making steady progress on her path to recovery since her brutal crash during a practice session for the Extreme E-Series in Sardinia.
A horrifying crash in September that's left Dunedin rally car driver Emma Gilmore with head injuries and broken bones. However, she says she's now healthy and feeling good, but is still on the road to a full recovery and is taking things slow and steady. Gilmore says she doesn't remember much of the accident, but recalls the moment she noticed her car was coming around at an unusual angle, driving through this tight corner.
So it was like, this is not good. And you just, I mean, it's all happened so quickly, but I was instantly thinking, how am I going to try and save this? You know, like, what can I do to not crash?
The crash sent her car rolling several times at high speed, leaving the experienced driver with a broken rib, concussion, stiff neck and a sore knee. Earlier this year, Gilmore connected with Otago University PhD student Fatim Mirzai, who was studying the effects of concussion and side impacts on neck injuries.
She's been really instrumental in helping me with some of the rehab that I've done. So it's understanding that your brain is recovering without being able to see that your brain is recovering.
Gilmore isn't quite ready to get back behind the wheel just yet, but says she's already itching to get herself back on the track. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Christchurch's popular Wilston brass band are saying farewell to a place they've called home for over a century. The historic band's earthquake-damaged room is being demolished in January, making way for a brand new community arts hub.
Brass is taking over this Christchurch street as fans enjoy the free Wilston Brass Band Street concert. The special one-off informal performance in collaboration with Jolt Dance was held as a farewell to the band's home of 132 years, which is being demolished in January. The earthquake-damaged Dampier Street Band Room is set to be replaced by a brand new $3 million purpose-built community and arts hub.
We've got about 1.3 at this stage, but so we're prepared to sort of start and get 6 months through, but it's really to kind of give some other funders a bit more confidence that the project's going to happen and we can take it to a successful end.
Turner says while it may not be the prettiest of buildings, it holds a lot of history for the band.
We will miss it. It's got lots of memories and lots of stuff's happened and you know, lots of amazing musicians have come through this place.
Wilston Brass will be moving to a temporary site in Addington during the Community Hub's one-year build process to house their number of successful bands.
We've got 3 bands, so we've got a junior band that has about 45 kids in it, an intermediate sort of band which is a mix of older people and kids, that's about 30, and then we've got about 35 in the senior band.
The organisation collaborates with local schools to run its very successful Wilston Brass Academy education program. Turner says while Louis Armstrong might not return, the rebuild will help ensure the next generation of musicians coming through will get to practice in a first-class facility. In Christchurch, the South Today.
Now, recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. The Royal Commission of Inquiry will travel to Queenstown looking at how the country's COVID-19 response can be improved. Dunedin's iSite Visitor Centre reopened to the public as part of a national brand refresh of the network. And Aotearoa's first private Galaxiid Sanctuary opened in Kyburn, aiming to help conserve the endangered water creatures. Now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT with Associate Editor Mike Houlihan. Mike, what have you got for us?
Evening, Simon. Well, the Dunedin City Council and Otago Regional Council are considering bringing in some overseas technology to try and control the ravages of the Southern Ocean on the southern coastline of Dunedin. So they're all just having a look at some of that. The property prices, which have been on the slide for the last wee while, are starting to show a little bit of signs of upturn again in Dunedin. We've crunched the numbers to work out what suburbs are going up. The penny farthings. Someone has taken it into their head to ride a penny farthing along the cycle trail. A little bit less comfortable ride than you normally get on the excursion. And our arts section tomorrow, we've got two really interesting reads, one on writer Iona Winters and the other on some Dunedin artists who are exhibiting in Christchurch.
Excellent. Sounds like a lot of good reading in there.
Indeed.
Thank you. Time now for a look at tomorrow's weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, tomorrow sees cold southwesterly winds rising to near gale force about the coasts, with widespread showers developing later. Heading to the top of the South Island, Nelson has moderate northwesterlies, high cloud and a high of 24 degrees. There's moderate northerlies, showers and 19 degrees for Greymouth, a high of 27 degrees with freshening northwesterlies and high cloud for Christchurch. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, Ashburton has freshening northwesterlies and high cloud, a high of 27. Gusty westerlies with showers later for Timaru, and Oramu is looking at increasing southwesterlies and showers. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, gusty southwesterlies and showers across the board for Queenstown, Wanaka and Alexandra. 16 for Wanaka and Queenstown, 18 for Alexandra. Heading further south, strong southwesterlies and showers for Balclutha, Gore and the Catlins, with 12 degrees across the board. Heading across to Invercargill, rain and fresh cold southwesterlies developing tonight, a low of 11. Tomorrow is cloudy with cold and frequent showers, some hail, strong to near gale southwesterly winds and cold temperatures down to 5 degrees. Friday sees showers clearing but remaining cloudy with strong cold southwesterlies decreasing during the day. And finally heading to Dunedin, tonight looks fine with high cloud, a low of 13. It's overcast tomorrow with showers developing during the morning. Cooler variable winds at first but strong cold southwesterlies developing later in the afternoon. Winds may be near gale force in exposed places tomorrow night. Friday is looking cold and overcast with showers till late in the day and strong gusty southwesterlies decreasing slowly during the day. And that's the news this Wednesday. For the latest news and videos from the Southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. Follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, or find us on Facebook. Search for The South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. The team will be back tomorrow. Ka kite a popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.
The South Today Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with MoleMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.